Hello everyone and welcome to Sydney Motorsport Park on a beautiful sunny autumn weekend for this, the first round of the 2023 Improved Production Championship. Let's get straight to the action with the big guns of the over 2 litre class. On board with May and Reddy in the Midas sponsored BMW. Oh, that's a big jump start from the 55 of David Vincent. I reckon he'll get a penalty for that. As we go on board for the first race of the over 2 litre championship in Improved Production New South Wales, right to the front of the pack here. That is Zak Hudson on the outside of Lachlan McBrien. Zak, of course, the over 2 litre national champion from 2022. And of course, the Yokohama IPRA Nationals are here later in the year. The rest of the field streaming through. McBrien chasing, big lunge down into the 4-5 complex here at a beautiful Sydney Motorsport Park. Bluebell day for the over 2 litre races. McBrien with Hudson all over the back bumper. I reckon he'll throw a pass down here, and there he is lurking on the left front guard. Just enough room given between the two as they charge over Corporate Hill. I reckon the racing is going to be hot and heavy between these two, not only today, but for the rest of the year leading into the Yokohama Nationals. Real mix of cars and real mix of competitors. We've got people from all across Australia here coming to check out Sydney Motorsport Park ahead of the big event later this year. Hudson winding up that RX-7 and full sending it. It's in test and tune mode, so he's going to throw a lot of stuff at this car over the course of the event. We go back through the field. That's Simon O'Dell from Tana from Queensland being chased there by Steve Engel. It's one thing to fly down to race in an event, it's quite another to tow your car all that way, and we thank all of our interstate competitors for joining us today. Cars have strengths and weaknesses, of course. The all-wheel drive Evo reverses the rotary-powered rear drive RX-7. And speaking of RX-7s, it looks like Zak Hudson is going to take the win for the first race. Jason Grimmond, you've made the big haul down from Queensland. Welcome to Sydney Motorsport Park at round 1 of IPRA New South Wales. How are you finding it?
It's a bit of a struggle. It is really a struggle. I mean, it's a difficult track, and that's what we're here to do, learn. Yeah.
Nationals coming up midway through the year. You competed it last year, had a little bit of a gremlin, so hoping to make good for this year.
Yeah, hopefully, but there's going to be a lot of fast cars here this year, and yeah, there's going to be a lot of them. So, but we're here to do our best, and we'll give it a go.
Most favourite part of Eastern Creek, what we used to call Eastern Creek, least favourite part?
Oh, well, for me, with the horsepower, is the front straight here. Turn 1, trying to get that right, it's a challenge. But, it's a good, challenging track, and it's good for all cars.
And how are you finding the IPRA New South Wales guys to race?
Oh, they're great. They're really, really good bunch of guys, and I think other states need to learn a little bit from these guys.
Nice to hear, mate. Well, best of luck for this weekend. Thanks for coming down. We'll see you a couple of times throughout the year, but let's check out the action now in the over 2 litres. And we go on board at the start of race 2 with Jason Grimmond as he winds that mighty green Commodore up off the line, blast past the 200 SX there of Scott Cook, who's come over from South Australia. On board with May and Reddy from one of our title sponsors, Midas. Gets a great start there in his M3. Coming past a few of the competitors on the way to turn 1. Looks like Lachlan McBrien has jumped ahead of Hudson, who won race 1. But Hudson not letting him go as the rest of the field stream through. Grimmond holding down third place as we go on board with Shad Hassan in that beautiful RX-7. This is the Ravenol 360 on board as he goes past Stig Richards in his loaner RX-8. He's usually aboard an RX-7, and we'll see him in that in the next round. Grimmond over the top. Real watching brief on the battle ahead of him. If those two make a mistake, he'll be in there for the win. Big dive there. McBrien has the local advantage. Hudson's got the pace, but he's still learning the track, and these two fighting hard, not a bumper laid on either car. Fantastic to watch. Back on board with Reddy. That looks like David Haynes going a little bit wide, and up ahead the 1.8 litre Civic EG, usually an under 2 litre car. It's looking to score some points in the over 2 litre as the owner goes up a category. Mid-corner speed not lacking in the little blue Civic, sticking it up the inside of Reddy there, but I reckon when it gets to the straight it'll all be resolved in favour of the BMW. Back on board with Grimmond, such mighty power, but as we heard he's still coming to terms with turn one, and that's a really big corner in a car like this. Hudson breaking loose a little bit there from McBrien as Grimmond hangs on to third place over Ben Alge in his 200SX. Oh, big lock up there from Hassan, nearly drops it in front of the field, manages to hang on to it. This is the new car just under development. I reckon Shad will really find his way further forward as the season progresses. We've got the two 200SXs attacking the V8 now. That's Scott Cook and Ben Alge hunting down that third spot as we have Simon Odell Fontana fighting off Steve Engel. Great battle for the miners here as we wind down. The nimble, less powerful 200s getting right up inside the Commodore, which will start to feel in its tyres the length of the race. But here's the real advantage: muscle, horsepower. But the nimbleness of the 200 hangs tough on the inside. Scott Cook holding that position and getting the power down really well. It's one thing to have all the horsepower in the world, but you have to get it to the track. And look at that, Cook blasting away from the bigger car. Back on board with Reddy as he skies up the inside there of David Haynes in the Commodore. Great battle between these two IPRA New South Wales stalwarts. Hudson jumps out ahead of McBrien, breaks away to win race 2, with Scott Cook from South Australia in a fine third spot. Here at Sydney Motorsport Park for the over 2 litre category in Improved Production New South Wales. A bit of a blast from the past. Adam Tipping, welcome back. Been a while since you've run. How are you finding it?
Oh, look, it's great. I mean, it's a great category to race in. I've been out of it for probably about 4 years now. This particular car I've had from 20 years ago. I used to race it at an under 2 litre. At the moment it's got a 2.6 in it. I'm running it in over 2 litres, and yeah, it's great. I mean, I've enjoyed the last 2 days so far. I've managed to survive race 1 and race 2. It's good. Fighting the car a little bit, not real happy, but you know what? I'm having a blast.
And that's what it's about, isn't it? The improved production, people do know have a good time. They're not, they race hard, but they race pretty fair, right?
Oh, absolutely. One of the guys I was racing with yesterday, Stig, he's been around for a while now. He's in a loaner car for this weekend, and we had an absolute blast. Like, they're just good guys to race with. Racing's pretty clean, no drama out there. It's good fun.
Now, I know you were talking about just doing a maintenance race for this, but maybe can we tempt you back for a few more later in the year?
Yeah, look, I think I'd like to progress with the car. I'd like to get another 100 ponies under the bonnet, might make it raceable then, but we'll see how we go. I'd like to come back, but whether it's the next one, I'm not sure yet. We'll see what happens.
Fantastic. Great to see Adam back in the category here at Sydney Motorsport Park in over 2 litres. I'm down here. I've caught up with Stig Richards, who is not in a yellow RX-7. He, in fact, is in a silver RX-8. Welcome to 2023 over 2 litres, mate. Tell us the story. Why have you got a silver RX-8?
So my RX-7 was planned very meticulously to be ready for round 1, and meticulous plans have a habit of evaporating right at the last minute. Thankfully, I was able to get onto Maisie Place Motorsport and talk about leasing this RX-8. At the last minute, I got in touch. They prepared the car. They towed it up from the south coast. I've now run qualifying and 2 races. It's a beautifully balanced, beautifully prepared car. I'm having a ball. I'm not quite where I would expect to be in the running order in my car, but then I'm probably down about 150 horsepower, so that's understandable. But most importantly, I'm here and I'm running, because consistency really matters in improved production. As I found out last year, if you finish every race, you're going to finish reasonably well in the championship. So it was important for me, round 1, to make sure I'm here, finishing races, and thanks to this RX-8, I am.
And that's absolutely the point. The big change for this year, there's pretty much every race counts. So yeah, logging scores every round is super important.
It's very, very important. Literally every round counts towards the championship this year. And so here I am, scoring points in what is just such a beautifully balanced car to drive. Like I say, not the fastest car I've ever driven, but an awesome way to do laps and finish and get points.
Does it give you a little bit of inspiration? You go back into your car, maybe thoughts about what you might be able to do. I mean, your RX-7 is part of the family, but driving something different, does it give you any inspiration?
It's funny to drive something that's a bit newer. I did spend an hour yesterday morning trying to work out a new seating position, only to discover that the steering column is actually adjustable, which is a luxury I'm not used to in the RX-7. So no, it's nice to drive something different. I am looking forward to getting back into my RX-7. You know, there is something about a 13B turbo that wants to spit you off the road at every opportunity that's exhilarating and exciting and just that little bit faster.
Fantastic. Well, Stig, best of luck in season 2023. Good work for getting out in round one. Here we go again.
Thank you very much. I'm having a ball.
And here we go for the last race of the day for the over 2 litres on board with May and Ready at the start. Good jump away as the rest of the field. Oh, there's a bit of action there. Scott Cook looks like he's going backwards. Did so well in the second race. May have had a little bit of a bobble at the start, but seems to be pushing on. McBrien, speaking of pushing on, has pushed past Zak Hudson in that mighty RX-7. Sounds unbelievably good, and so does the BMW. Grimmond holding down third spot with Ben Alge in a watching brief, really hunting down that podium spot. Looks like Steve Engels moved up a few spots as well. Hudson makes his move on the final turn, coming down the straight, uses the legs of that rotary to push away from McBrien, but who gathers it back up under braking. So there's strengths and weaknesses in both cars. It's going to be fascinating to watch all year long. Over the hill, Cook chasing down the Evo of Engel as he looks to finish the weekend on a high. That's Shad Hassan ahead of Jason Grimmond. Big lock-up and pushes wide. There's a bit of oil down from a previous race. Grimmond sticks it up the inside. Shad right in there. But Grimmond with the V8 power is going to go past not one but two as he rounds up May and Ready before they get to the final complex of corners. Big slide there. You can see how hard McBrien is pushing to get on the back of this RX-7. Punch for punch, corner for corner. These two are absolutely going hammer and tongs. Hudson had it in the early part of this race, but McBrien, I think, has got his measure, and that little bit of local knowledge is going to serve him well as we wind down. This is going to be an incredible finish between these two. McBrien, big look down the inside, big cutback. That's a great move coming over Corporate Hill. Lots of respect, gave him a car and an inch on the outside. That's all you need to give. As they come down to the hairpin, we're getting down to the dying moments of this race. McBrien, great acceleration out of the hairpin, but Hudson with the horsepower looking to get over the top. I think he's ranging up alongside. This is going to be very, very close. As they come to the line, McBrien just about has it. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The closest finish in over 2 litre in pre-production ever. That is 0.0032 of a second win to McBrien over Hudson, with a fine third for Ben Alge. Here with round one winner at the over 2 litres, Zak Hudson. Well done, mate. That thing was a bit of a jet, but it wasn't easy.
No, it definitely wasn't easy. First time I've been here in the car. Just seeing how we are for the Nationals, just having a bit of a test weekend. So we basically threw the kitchen sink at it at the last one, but it was just seeming to be a little bit too much and just didn't quite have it there in the last race. So we've got some stuff to work on and see how we go at the next round.
Who'd you like to thank?
I'd just like to thank my sponsors, Anglis Meats, More Trailers, Queensland Electrical Data Service, and mainly Phil Laird. He's just been looking after me for so long, and he's supplying great engines and making the car working really well. So thanks, Phil.
Congratulations, mate. Well done.
Thank you.